Hi there. These comments are for Tanzeela, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for the TOEFL online course, the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you made a comment at my website, and let's take a look at what you said. Okay, so you say, hi, I want to take the TOEFL IBT test for the first time in 2.5 months. I need to apply for a PhD. I would say here at Harvard University, not in, and it requires 100 marks, I would say, on the TOEFL IBT. I live in Pakistan where PayPal is not available. What would you suggest? Is it possible to get that much marks or that many marks? I would probably say here, is it possible to get that high of a score for the first time in 2.5 months? Really need guidance. I'm going to say probably not. From my experience, Tanzeela, is most students who score over 100, they typically take the TOEFL test 4 or 5 times over a period of 2 or 3 years. So it's not something that happens usually on the first try. Now, you may prove me wrong. I'm just giving you my own experience based on my observation. Now, here's my question for you. Have you been speaking English at home for the last 10 or 12 years? Think about that for a minute. Here's my next question. Have you been reading newspapers, books, and magazines on a regular basis for, say, 2 or 3 years? My third question, do you watch TV and watch movies in English on a regular basis, and have you done this for 2 or 3 years? And again, remember the first question, have you been using English for about 10 or 12 years? Now, if you can answer yes to all those questions, that means that you've already developed a fairly high level of English proficiency, and it's exactly that type of person who is likely, if anyone is going to score over 100 for the first time, it would be someone who fits those characteristics. So those are my comments there. Now here's my suggestion. If you live in Pakistan where PayPal is not available, is it possible, if you want to use my course, it's possible you can use Western Union. You can make a Western Union payment. I require a 3-month payment up front. You can go to my FAQs page at my website here, and you can learn more about that. So you can either pay using Western Union, or if you have a friend, someone that you might know who lives in the United States, they can subscribe you to my online TOEFL course using their credit card, and then you have to reimburse them for the money. So that's another possibility. So that's what I would say there. Okay, so if you're taking the test in 2.5 months, I have 3 recommendations for you right now. Number 1, stay in the habit of reading on a regular basis. Read magazines, newspapers, and longer books. Number 2, also spend about 45 to 60 minutes every day listening or watching TV programs. You can focus on news, history, documentary, and science programs, especially science programs. Now, as you're doing this reading and listening practice, remember, this is going to give you about 1.5 to 2 hours every day for the next 3 months. You should get in the habit of note-taking, even on the reading passages. This is very important. So focus on the main and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. Now, remember, you choose the materials that you want to read. There's a lot of materials on the internet. I'll just give you one example. You could subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. That's a great website. That's a great newspaper. You can find out more about it if you go to Wall Street Journal using Google. You can find out about it. In terms of your listening, there's 2 websites. If you don't have English TV, you can use it's called National Public Radio npr.org, or you can use TED Talks, which is another good website to practice your listening. And finally, you can also use Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. Again, Randall is Randall. Randall's apostrophe S, Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. Those three websites will give you a lot of good listening practice. So I recommend that you do that every day for the next 3 months. Now, using your notes, you can write a summary of the reading and the listening passages. If you do that, aim to write about 250 words. Try to do this 3 times a week as you're doing your reading and your listening practice. So you have at least 3 writing assignments each week for the next 2.5 months. You're writing a summary of either the reading or the listening passage. Now, you can also use your notes to orally summarize that information. And I think that will also be very helpful to you. Now, my third suggestion is to go through the lessons in my 90-day TOEFL study guide. Some of the lessons will be easy, in which case you can skip them. If you go to a lesson that's more challenging, you can spend more time studying that particular lesson. I will include a link to my 90-day TOEFL study guide. I will put them right in the comments here, so you can click on it, take a look at it, and see what lessons I think are going to help you. So remember that my goal is to help you not just get a high TOEFL score, but I want you to succeed as a PhD student at Harvard. So you'll be developing some very strong academic English language proficiencies while using my course. And remember, even after you reach your TOEFL goal, you can still use my website to improve your academic English. That way it'll be that much easier for you when you start your PhD studies at Harvard. All right? Thank you very much for your comments, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.